Oh yeah! What's up, everybody? Pew pew pew! You hear that? That's the sound of my propulsor beam! That's right, we're back with another episode of the Bros, you knows. I'm your host, Passionate, and joined by my co-host,
Emotional.
What's up, Emotional?
Whew, not much, Passionate. It's been a long time since we've done this. And so, what I was going to do was just string cheese together a lot of puns, but then I realized that maybe Captain American sliced cheese wouldn't like that. So I'm just going to peace out and go over into the corner and do some cheese curls right quick.
You can't see him right now, but he's definitely doing those cheese curls. 32, 33. Keep going, Emotional. You're doing a good job. Really getting a burn. All right, guys. We are the Bros, you knows.
I think it's been a while since we had Passionate and Emotional.
Good to see those guys again.
Yeah, they're really hitting those cheese curls right now.
Stop getting the dust over the floor, guys.
David, it's good to have you back, bro.
Yeah, man, it's been a while, too.
It has been a while. I'm going to give you a chance to fire off real quick. I've been co-hosting this show with Matt Two-Stripe Alexander, who has described himself as the Donald Cerrone of podcasts. He's described you as the Brian Caraway of podcasts. Do you have anything to say to Matt?
Really, Matt? Brian Caraway? Come on, man. Come on. If you're anyone, you're not Donald Cerrone, dude. You're totally Clay Guida. I mean, the resemblance is uncanny.
Guys, you are in for such a treat today. We're going to change things up, going to nerd it out. We're going to talk a little bit about Marvel Civil War, and I'm so excited about this, but we actually got an exclusive first look at an alternate
REDBAND trailer.
The REDBAND trailer. This is really awesome. We're going to play it for you guys real quick, and then Dave and I are going to kind of break it down for you guys.
All right.
You chick on the road, she doing promo. You said keep our business on the low. I'm just trying to get you out the friend zone, 'cause you look even better than the photos. I can't find your house and neither driving through the gated residential. Found out I was coming, took your friends home. Keep on trying to hide it, but your friends know. I only call you when it's hard. The only time that I'll be by your side. I only love it when you touch me. You feel me when I'm fucked up. That's real me. When I'm fucked up, that's real me. Yeah, I only love you when it's half past. But the only time that I ever call you mine. I only love it when you touch me. You feel me when I'm fucked up. That's real me. When I'm fucked up, that's real me. You know I keep it simple. Trying to keep it up don't seem so simple. I just missed the last time that I saw you. You gon' have to do it at my tempo. Always trying to send me up to rehab. Drugs started feeling like a stick up. I'm just trying to live life for the moment. Call you when it's hard past. But the only time that I'll be by your side. I only love it when you touch me. You feel me when I'm fucked up. That's real me. When I'm fucked up, that's real me. Yeah, I only love you when it's hard past. But the only time that I ever call you mine. I only love it when you touch me. You feel me when I'm fucked up. That's real me. When I'm fucked up, that's real me. Yeah.
Damn,
That was crazy.
that was.
That was really good. Let's just break it down real quick. A lot of the footage we've seen from some of the other trailers.
Correct, yeah.
I feel like if you guys are listening past this may be a spoiler-rific episode anyways,
It
so be
kind of
warned.
introduced some new characters into that trailer.
Yeah.
Or a new character, I guess you should say.
One big new character, Sexy Man.
Best superhero.
What an amazing superhero. His dance moves, the way he gyrated on the floor.
I mean, it's one of those things where I feel like one of the good bar questions is always, if you could have one superpower, what would it be? Sexy dancing, I think, should just be the trump card on that one.
It really is. I mean, and it looked like it solved a lot of issues.
Yeah.
A couple things I wanted to note. It looked like Scarlet Witch shot him there. So is at some point a Sexy Man part of? I guess he would be on Iron Man's team then if Scarlet
Witch shot him, then yeah.
Yeah. So that was an interesting thing to see. Looked like maybe he and Black Widow.
I think looked like they had a thing going on. There was some F wording that was going on there.
F wording. Wow. When I have Matt Alexander on this episode, it becomes explicit content. Now we have no wonder Captain America is your favorite superhero. Freaking Boy Scout over here.
Actually, I guess after that trailer, I could have just dropped the actual F bomb.
Yeah. The rumor is that the actor that plays
Sexy Man.
he actually, he went through a bit of a body transformation working out for that.
Nice.
I think the rumor is that he consumed over 40 churros a day.
Whew, that's some dedication right there.
He loved to just stick them in his mouth.
Yeah.
Just stick the churros in his mouth whole.
That's a method acting.
Some real method acting. I wonder how his girlfriend feels about the trailer. Megan, right?
Megan, yeah.
Megan.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Megan? Man, boy, are you lucky.
To be, dating that.
Body by churro.
Seriously.
Wow.
It should be its own, I feel like it should be on the, late night television commercials, Body by churro. Order now in the next 30 minutes for 3 low payments of $19.99.
All right. Marvel Civil War. Comic book fans, we were looking forward to 2016. 2 big movies. We had Batman vs. Superman. Mixed opinions. I'm not sure if we ever actually did a review on that
I don't think we ever
or
did,
anything. I guess we can give some thoughts on it now. We didn't agree with the ridiculously poor ratings
Critics'
that it got.
consensus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go on Rotten Tomato, this is the worst movie of all time.
Basically.
It wasn't that bad.
No, I thought, if you are a comic book fan, I think you would enjoy it. Especially if you didn't go in with, crazy high expectations. I mean, to me, it was basically a 2.5 hour long setup for the rest of the DC universe of movies. They really tried to throw in a lot of introducing a lot of new characters, or new as far as the movies are concerned. So I thought it worked really well as a setup for the rest of the universe. As a standalone movie, not that great, but it was very enjoyable, and I think it did a good job setting up Justice League.
It did do that. It did feel like the movie was just a vehicle. It just felt like they tried to shoehorn in what Marvel did with 6 or 7 movies in one movie.
Yeah.
They may have been better maybe doing a standalone Batman film first and letting us, instead of using this to kind of set up Batman and then bring it back. A lot of the conflict seemed a bit muddled, it was just this is a plot device.
Right, yeah, very much so.
The trope has always been, there's always all this bad stuff happening around the world, but if Lois Lane's in trouble, Superman's there. It was kind of ridiculous how often that happened in the movie. But to start it off, the conflict was just really weird. First of all, they changed up Jimmy Olsen's character.
Right.
He's, I guess, CIA?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. And as soon as he introduces himself, that's it. He's gonzos.
You never see him again. Yeah.
Well, it's not. You never
Because,
see him.
He-
Well, no. We already said spoilers.
Yeah,
We already said
okay,
there were
yeah,
spoilers.
yeah,
So
yeah.
dude straight up gets shot by the character who's supposed to play, or what's his name? Some Russian bad guy. KG Beast. Okay. Anyways, KG Beast shoots Jimmy Olsen. So yeah, he dies early on. The entire thing is ridiculous. Superman comes. The worst thing he did was presumably kill a terrorist. that was threatening the life of Lois Lane. Just straight up like blew him through a wall.
Demolished. That was awesome scene, by the way.
Okay, and then from that, we blame him for like the tragedy that happened there. Like, what you talk about, like the tragedy where like terrorists killed a bunch of people, including CIA agents. Superman showed up and saved one reporter.
And
how was
a big shitstorm about it, and everyone was pissed off.
So like that was kind of weird. So they had to do something to make Superman look like he's in this gray area.
To lose the like public support, I guess.
Yeah. And they had like some cool scenes where they showed how heroic he was, and how other people did feel like he was kind of like
the flood scene.
The
when
flood
he shows
scene.
up,
the De Los Muertos scene where like everyone like kind of reached
awesome.
up at him.
Yeah, that was very well
like,
filmed.
Very cool scenes. So they had to kind of shoehorn this plot device. Like they had to. It's like you got two good guys fighting. Why are they fighting? We had to sort of make up something.
Right.
I didn't feel like they did a good job of that. And then you had like one opportunity for the movie to kind of right the ship and let Superman kind of say his piece, and then they blow up.
He didn't really get a chance to do it. Yeah.
it was all a setup by Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor. Yeah. Can we talk about Lex Luthor real quick?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Actually, I was not going into the movie. I didn't think Jesse Eisenberg was a horrible choice for Lex Luthor. I thought, oh, this is a good actor. You know, he can play like a modern version of him as like a, you know, douchey Mark Zuckerberg like brilliant millennial kind of guy as Lex Luthor. Like kind of a new take on him. But then he didn't really do that. I mean, he kind of did at the very beginning, but then he kind of switched around and became the Joker all of a sudden. And I feel like that doesn't work for Lex. That was kind of a turnoff to me.
Definitely, and not just that. You need. Where was the motivation? There's just so much stuff in this movie where there were things that they had to really dumb down just so that like we made certain connections. Like, oh yeah, Batman's mother's name's Martha, Superman's mother also named Martha. That's very important. All right, cool. But in the Marvel universe, you have Loki talking with Chitauri, and it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna take over Earth now. That planet right there is Earth. We're going to invade it with these spaceships and weapons. And like we're like, oh, there we go. These are the bad guys. This is what's gonna happen. Now the Avengers have to be set up to stop them. Okay, that's okay to kind of like dumb things down like that. I felt like this movie, there was a lot of stuff that was kind of like you had to piece things together. When we were watching it, when they had those dream sequences and then like Flash kind of came in and at the end of it, so there's two dream sequences. One where you have like the Batman that you see in the trailers in the trench coat,
like the apocalyptic future kind of thing.
Yeah, fighting a bunch of guys with like the S on their shoulder, and Superman like comes in angry and like just straight up like eviscerates like the two people like right next to him that were chained up, and it's like angry Superman. And it kind of, you know, we were thinking like this is the Gods Among Us storyline where Lois Lane dies, Superman just loses it and kind of decides to rule the world with like
an iron fist. A Man of Steel fist.
And of course Batman sort of leads to resistance in that arc. Flash shows up. I was like, that's Flash. But going back and looking at it, I'm not quite so sure why I was sure that was Flash. I kind of like flashed on screen.
I mean, he does have the Time Force too, so it would make sense if he was the one doing that.
Yeah, so when he like leaves, Batman wakes up. Presumably the entire thing's a dream sequence, but the people that have seen the movie multiple times say that if you pay attention, like the paper and stuff in the background is still in the air, which seems to imply that the Flash actually did show up, and that message was real. I think he said like, I'm not sure if like I'm at the right time.
Right.
So it could have been like, this is way ahead of everything, so you'll have to piece this together. But one of the things that we've talked about that I thought was kind of cool was the fact that Lex Luthor is kind of the founder of the Justice League.
At least that's the way it looked like.
I mean, all the stuff on the hard drive. He even had their symbol. It's not like these guys have their own symbols yet.
He's make up their uniforms for them?
You put that information out there, and you allow Batman to find it. So presumably, World's Greatest Detective is going to put it together and then try to find these people to take on whatever bad guy. It's kind of weird to me that he would do that. So I thought like a cool twist would be if we find out in later movies that maybe Lex Luthor was contacted by these alien forces, presumably Darkseid,
Right.
and was like, holy crap, humans are gonzos. I need to put together Superman and
So
Batman and Wonder Woman.
He's like the Nick Fury of the DC universe.
But like not to like save the planet, more like self-preservation.
Right.
Like
I don't wanna die.
I don't want to die. So,
He probably thinks he can control them or something, and I don't know.
oh, for sure. I mean, just through manipulation, he got Batman, Superman to fight. So
That is
he
true.
probably thought
Yeah.
that he could control the entire thing and run them. Lex Luthor, he's a bad guy, but in the comics, he's a boss. He's like he's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, people like him. Jesse didn't do him justice, and that kind of sucked. You know, everyone was like Wonder Woman was like the best part of the movie. Honestly, she just wasn't in there a lot.
She was good,
She
but
was-
yeah, she wasn't in there much.
And I think the thing that people really like about her is she was like a bit of fun
Yeah.
during the fight scenes. Superman was very angsty and angry and self-sacrificial. Batman, for being the most tactical person ever, like almost dies like 75 times against Doomsday. So it's like in that entire fight, it just looked like he was just trying not to die, which would, it's like, it makes sense. Like the most highly trained human person on the planet has no reason in a hand-to-hand combat
Fight a
with
Kryptonian killing machine.
Doomsday, Superman, and Wonder Woman. You
Also, I mean, it's not like he really had that much time to prep for it because they didn't know Doomsday was coming. He just showed up, and Batman's like,
yeah.
crap.
I mean, his plan was basically lure him to the spear, stab him with the spear.
Right.
Superman put 2 and 2 together and carried out the plan. They kind of all got to do something. Wonder Woman sort of weakened him, and then Batman shot him with his last kryptonite bullet to
yeah.
weaken him just enough so that Superman can get in, finish him off. Spoiler alert. We're just going to go full spoiler. Superman dies, so they fit that in to the movie too. There's just a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on. I thought...
I will be... I'm looking forward to seeing the director's cut to see if maybe the editing is better and it's much more fluid.
I hope so.
I hope
I don't.
so, yeah.
I wouldn't mind. Like, they had to cut it down because it was so long as it was. But I wouldn't mind watching a longer version if it was better
I think
storytelling.
it's just more fluid. Yeah.
They already released one of the deleted scenes, which was the Lex Luthor scene where he's in a pool of blood. This is presumably while he was trying to make Doomsday, and there looks like there's communication with Darkseid. That alien technology exists, how it's already created one metahuman, and how Lex Luthor is connected to it, knows about it, all that stuff. That 1 20-second clip told us so much, you know? So it sounds like we're complaining a bit. We are, because we were looking forward to this movie so much. So to wrap things up, we thought it was a lot better than the critics thought it was. But
Yeah, it was definitely not like a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever it is right now.
But we also understand like the complaints out there,
Right.
And only because there were certain parts where I was like, this is really good.
Like the movie overall could have been really good if you just changed a few small things.
I wish Batman and Superman's fight was a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's true.
I kind of felt like if you watch the trailer, you kind of watch their fight,
Yeah.
which kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Moving on, the next big comic book movie, Marvel's Civil War. This was a huge arc that came out in
06.
Really cool because it allowed you to see fights between people that would have never fought before. Captain America, Iron Man. You get to see like people that are usually teammates. You get to see them duke it out depending on what side they were on, Team Cap or Team Iron Man.
Right.
So it was like really cool. I don't know if like it was the most well written arc.
No, I mean not really, but it was very popular among the fans just because it was different.
We're gonna debate the merits real quick
All right.
of Team Captain America, Team Iron Man. I'm gonna take Team Iron Man's side. David, I'm gonna let you take Team Captain America's side. Why is Captain America in the right here?
All right. Captain America's in the right. So for those of y'all who don't know, this whole Civil War thing starts. Basically, some bad stuff happened due to, metahuman / superhero activity. A group of basically teenage superheroes were trying to catch some bad guys, and things got out of hand. One of the bad guys basically blew up several city blocks, including an elementary school. So a bunch of people, like 600 people, died. And to really turn public, opinion against all the superheroes, they wanted more control over them. And so, the United States government instituted like this registration act for all the superheroes. Basically, they would register and, in a way work for the government. You would know their secret identities, you know where they are, stuff like that. And Captain America didn't agree with this because, in his opinion, a lot of the superheroes have worked very, very hard to keep their identity secret for some very good reasons. Spider-Man doesn't want his aunt killed, doesn't want his girlfriend killed. He's not the only one that's like that. And so to Captain America, there is a reason that they work, in a way outside the law. If everyone knows everything about them, it's harder for them to protect their family and their loved ones. And then also another aspect of it is, to him, they're not just tools of the government. They are their own justice system in a way. Which, granted, yeah, if you're a bad guy, that's not good. But if you're a bad guy, registration not really gonna help anything anyway. You're a bad guy. So I think that Captain America had
But if you're outside the law, how does that make you any different than the bad guy?
Being outside the law is one thing. The bad guys, I guess what I'm saying is the bad guys work outside the law and then do bad things, and the good guys don't do bad things. But if you register, that doesn't change the bad guys still doing bad things. They're still going to be outside the law and still do bad things. But the superheroes, like the good guys who are unregistered, still have that freedom to act against those bad guys and still also protect their loved ones and their families by keeping their identity secret.
I think the point is, though, from the Team Iron Man's perspective, you shouldn't have the good guys be held to the standards of bad men. The law's there as an incentive for law-abiders to follow it and to have punitive measures in place to deal with those that don't. The heroes, they fight for justice to uphold the law. And the criminals are then given due process, and then where do they go? They go to prisons operated by the governing bodies. And to your point on the privacy issue, that's kind of a stupid argument. The United States employs spies. It's not like they go out and they give the information on all of their CIA operatives out to the public. You have to have a clearance to see that information. So, these guys are out there actively protecting America, actively protecting national security. We're not compromising them. We're not giving out their identity. So just because they signed up for this doesn't mean that everybody would know who Spider-Man was. And yeah, there's a risk now that someone can hack a government computer and find out who Spider-Man is, but there was already a pretty big risk of someone finding the Spider-Man costume in his locker sticking halfway out. So I'm going to appeal to your patriotism, but the Founding Fathers built America on the principle that no one is bigger than God and country. Not a king, not even superheroes. Within the context of the MCU, this absolutely must happen. If we just look at the movies, right? What happened in Avengers Age of Ultron, the Hulk lost control because Scarlet Witch mind controlled him or whatever, and he went out and he wrecked the city. If not for Iron Man having safety measures in place, which is essentially what the government would do, it would have safety measures in place to make sure explicit concept. If shit hits the fan, we have something to protect them. If Hulk loses control, he's a good guy, but he's lost control in the comics multiple times. If he loses control and starts demolishing city blocks, we need something like a Hulk Buster suit to come down and be able to stop him. And your buddy Captain America, there's been a story arc where a guy that took on the Captain America name had a batch of bad super soldier serum, made him a bad guy, or it just made him a crazy guy. He wasn't a bad guy, but he was a crazy guy, so he went on a murder spree. I do want to point out there's this excellent video. I'm going to link it down in the description below. It's by Mr. Sunday, but it does a kill count for
really?
Captain America for
Nice.
throughout the movies, and I think it was over 14,000. Though
Nice.
the majority of those
Nazis?
were that helicarriers.
Oh,
When
yeah,
he-
that's right.
when
That's
he
right.
crashed the helicarriers into each other, and then it was kind of funny. But it's like, so everyone, presumably mostly like Shield agents and crap like that, died, and then like at the end, 23 casualties, or just normal normal people that happened to be there. Seems like really low, but I guess the buildings were. It was like in Batman vs Superman.
Happened to be the
Is it-
weekend.
Yeah,
After
it's like-
5. or
It's after
whatever.
5. Everyone goes home. The place is cleared. That's the other thing I have to point out. You have. I'm gonna jump back to Superman versus Batman real quick. After Superman dies, everyone's mourning Superman. Front page headlines. Second page, beloved reporter Clark Kent with his glasses on. The only person that happened to be there.
The only civilian that died.
Guys, that's not surprising. I mean, we gave a military burial for Superman, right? I guess without his body.
Yep. So, who?
What was the body double?
Also, did anyone think it was weird that Bruce Wayne was at Clark Kent's funeral?
Yeah. Right? It wasn't even like he was in disguise. He
No,
just
just
like
Bruce
showed
Wayne.
up and was talking to this. I guess no one knows who
Diana.
Diana. No one knows her real identity.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. But still, I mean, Bruce Wayne showing up in Smallville for some reporters,
As opposed to Superman.
as opposed to Superman, a little fishy, guys. A little fishy. Glasses or no glasses. Anyways, moving back to Marvel Civil War, when the art came out, it was written almost like it was written as a political allegory.
Oh,
It
totally.
was
Yeah.
written.
Yeah. It was after the Patriot Act.
Yeah, so this series came out around the same time that the Bush era counterterrorism laws came into effect. So, like you just pointed out, the Patriot Act. So we can see the Registration Act, or I guess the Sokovia Accords in the movie, as an allegory for the debate of giving up some civil liberties for the sake of safety and national security. And because it's such a real-world debate, it's really cool because you have heroes on both sides that a lot of people are fans of. So it's not simply, oh, I like Iron Man, so I'm on this side, or I like Captain America, I'm on this side. It could be, I like Captain America, but I agree with Team Iron Man, so I'm Team Iron Man, and vice versa. And I believe the directors have said that that's their goal. They would love for us to leave the movie theaters split. They would love half the audience to go, man, Team Iron Man was right, and half the audience to go, man, Team Captain America was right. I also think that the merits of the debate is skewed insofar as we're talking about a world populated by superpowered beings, or at least people with high-powered weapons that can take down city blocks. In a world like this, law enforcement and heroes need to be coordinated. They have to be ever vigilant of the fact that a lot of these war zones that we've seen in the movies are happening in populated places, and there's a lot of collateral damage. Better planning, more information, better coordination can help save a lot of lives, and that's the point of it all. We need some kind of national security body to at least know of what you're doing and be able to keep things in check. It's not like they're working against you. If anything, we've seen that S.H.I.E.L.D. helped the Avengers. They not only did it help assemble them, they helped equip them. This is essentially what would happen.
Until Hydra took control.
Well, Hydra's a bad guy.
I know,
right?
but they basically infiltrated the government.
All right, look, two things. I mean, first of all, that's a well-coordinated attack by a very powerful organization. So if you're going to fear the hacking of a federal government database, and not just any database, but one run by a very formidable organization in S.H.I.E.L.D., then what would stop someone like Hydra from finding you out anyways if they wanted to? Like, they wouldn't even be able to combat a threat like Hydra if it weren't for organizations like the S.H.I.E.L.D., which brings me to my second point, is that these are the only organizations around that give any sort of training. I mean, not only do they provide coordination, but they're the only ones that provide any kind of training, which is really helpful for, like, say, young superheroes like Spider-Man. I mean, other than X-Men, Avengers, S.H.I.E.L.D., there are no organizations that help train superheroes from the ground up. Remember, in the comic book arc, this entire thing started when you had a bunch of new superheroes try to take on some bad guys, and it ended up in disastrous results. Now, let's train those superheroes, give them coordination, give them a plan, give them help. Not only does that save lives, that mission probably goes a lot better.
The Civil War arc itself, like the technical Civil War arc was only like 7 issues, but every single Marvel comic during that 2-year time span was all a tie-in to Civil War. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of fit all the main stuff into one movie.
Yeah, I mean the movie's already set up a little bit differently. Superheroes are a lot more prevalent in the comic books. Like it's kind of you can walk down the street and there's like mutants and all this other stuff because the X-Men is
non-existent,
owned by Fox. There's no crossover there. And so really like the good guys that we see fighting in the trailers are really all of like the
superheroes,
other than like another handful of like guys that potentially could be good guys. I mean there's obviously bad guys that exist, but there's a lot less. I mean, this is also a world that hasn't really had a lot of time to deal with the influx of superheroes as well. I mean, with the expanding universe of Jessica Jones, Daredevil, it does seem like a world that has grown wary of heroes, quote-unquote, going unchecked. The Netflix series Jessica Jones, we see kind of superheroes going rogue, and not necessarily being good guys, but just kind of like doing things for personal reasons, not bad reasons.
Right.
In the case of Jessica Jones, she ultimately does something really good. Maybe not because she wanted to be a good person, but she stopped a really bad
her
threat.
Own moral code.
Then you have like Daredevil,
The Punisher,
which is very small scope. It's like we have all these like bad guys, and they're like, oh, let's pick on Hell's Kitchen.
You have aliens attacking New York City. Daredevil's like, I'm gonna stay in my 5-block radius and take down
I'm gonna sit this one out. I gotta take out. He wants to build luxury condos here, not in my city.
You evil bastard!
Evil bastard, go away. I mean, even with the expanding universe, it doesn't come close to what they have in the comic books. So we should clarify. There are 3 ways of looking at this debate: a real-world application, which I think is an absolute no-brainer. I mean, if some crazy comic book nerd out there decided to build his own repulsor beam and started blowing up buildings, the authorities would be on him so fast. Yeah, I just feel like this is a regulation that makes sense within the fictional confines of the MCU, within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I feel like this is a necessary step for reasons I point out before, but also just the sharing of information, better communication, better coordination. These programs like S.H.I.E.L.D., like they're the only things there that allow this kind of coordination with superheroes. That's a really good thing, especially in the context of like there only being like 15 or 20 of them. Now, I definitely see Cap's side in the comic books because metahumans make up a larger chunk of the population, so then it starts coming off very Big Brother-ish, and the Superhero Registration Act comes off like the agenda of a well-intentioned tyrant. Creating like a subclass issue kind of going on.
Right, people who aren't necessarily superheroes, they just have certain powers, don't necessarily use them.
Right. I
But
think
now all of a sudden they have
how
to
did they
register.
address that? I think it's like if you look like you had potential
Right.
or something, you had to like do some course, and then like maybe it was like marked differently. It's like a driver's license, like
Right.
you're a Class A or Class B driver or something like that. So you could be put in like different classes, which kind of makes sense because you have like superheroes like the Hulk that
Right.
could just like destroy everything. And I'm also going to point out that in the comic books, Iron Man does trick Captain America and his team in an ambush.
Well, yeah, he puts the stuff into he gives Spider-Man a new suit and like tracks him and everything.
But they don't ambush them to attack them. They just want to like corner them so that they could talk. And he goes out, just like talks to Cap. He's like, I just want to like talk about this, see if we come to a peaceful agreement. Captain America
Sucker punches him.
No, electrocutes him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. It has that little device or
Yeah,
whatever. That,
and then it like
shuts
I mean,
down
and then it
his-
like
yeah.
super escalates from there. A bunch of crazy stuff in that comic book arc, man. I think like
Well, they had like the
Iron Man makes like an evil Thor.
he was like a Thor clone who like went crazy. He killed Goliath.
Yeah.
Like that kind of like
And then like after that, everyone's like,
Oh.
Crap, guys. This is gone.
So, I mean, obviously we haven't seen the movie yet because the movie's not out yet, but judging from the trailers, I mean, as far as you know, there's no Goliath character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But from the trailers, is War Machine
It does look like War Machine.
the Goliath character?
It does look like War Machine is going to be that
The
character.
sacrificial lamb?
Well, just the casualty. I think, like, that's going to be when people go, maybe it's taking a step too far.
Yeah.
A couple other things from the trailer that people have noticed, much nerdier nerds than us, but in the scene where you see Scarlet Witch sort of control vision, there is Hawkeye in the background. So maybe some infighting. Maybe at some point they're kind of like, "Hey guys, we just took out War Machine. Like we're not, we're not like that. We're not trying to kill these guys. We just disagree with them, and these were our friends or whatever." So we'll see how this goes. If it goes the traditional storytelling path, which is how Batman vs Superman did it, they're gonna fight, and then a bad guy will emerge in the second act,
And they'll
where they have to
to
combine
join
in the
and-
third act, and maybe that's when like one of them like dies, but it's more like a sacrificial death, much like
Right.
Cap's death, sort of bringing an end
Oh, in the comics.
in the comics
Right.
to the entire thing. You know what? Simultaneous death, and everyone is upset. Everyone leaves the movie
Yeah,
theater
everyone's like, "We're
pissed
done.
off.
I'm out. I'm
Iron
out."
Man and Cap die. Damn, that would really suck.
New Captain America, Anthony Mackie.
That's true. He would be the new Captain America. Is there an arc where Tony Stark dies?
Not that I'm aware of. I'm sure there is, but nothing.
Yes, everyone
Yeah.
dies and everyone comes back to life in
Yeah.
comic books.
Like, I mean, Steve Rogers came back to life.
Yeah.
Or I guess he was never actually dead.
Yeah. Fair enough.
It's comic books, people.
Just like, oh, spoiler alert, Superman's not actually dead. I mean, did you not see the levitating dirt? I guess that's it. Do you have anything else? I wish I could have been a little bit more cohesive. I don't have. We were gonna prepare some stuff for this. We just decided it'd be more fun just to kind
Just to
of
talk
talk
through it.
about it.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, so I guess I understand your point about privacy, and yeah, I guess I understand your point about privacy. I still feel like, I mean, if someone wanted to find out Spider-Man's true identity, if they could break into a top secret government facility to find out that information, they'll have no trouble breaking into his not so top secret 1-bedroom apartment.
You know, if you have to give away your secret identity, does that, mean that people who normally be a superhero not doing good, all of a sudden, like, nah, it's not worth the risk. I don't want to put my family in danger.
I guess
And
that's
then you don't have Spider-Man.
First of all, Spider-Man was one of the first superheroes to voluntarily give out his secret identity. There is an assumption of the risk when you are a superhero. To go back to the spy analogy, but if our CIA operatives were afraid that our government could potentially be hacked into and that they would be compromised, and then you know what? At that point, you yourself are compromised. Like, you can't perform your job to the best of your ability. You can't protect your country to the best of your ability. And the same goes for superheroes. If you're always worried about that, if this is too much of a risk for you, get out of the game. You're done. We have plenty of brave men and women in military and law enforcement now that openly have their identity out there for whatever criminal organizations to find out about them in the real world. And they're still able to perform their job bravely, even though we have military and law enforcement databases.
these guys don't like hide themselves or something like
But
that.
it's not like Loki's out there trying to kill their family.
I mean, with Loki, you're talking about a god at this point, so, I mean, the least of my concerns is that he can find my information on a government computer. I mean, he showed up and straight up mind-controlled Hawkeye like nothing. When they were able to actually apprehend them, it was a coordinated effort by S.H.I.E.L.D. bringing together Captain America, Iron Man, and then they were backed up by Black Widow. I mean, without an organization that could identify these superhumans and help coordinate them and bring them together, a threat like Loki, it's even harder to take down. I mean, remember, the only reason why the Avengers are together is a coordinated effort by a government entity, S.H.I.E.L.D. So not only does that clearly demonstrate that a superhero like Hawkeye isn't at greater risk to a threat like Loki because he is with S.H.I.E.L.D., in fact, he is safer with an organization like that. And that would be true to all superheroes that signed up. And you know what? If you don't want to sign up because you're afraid that a secured government database might get hacked,
They're just not real heroes to begin with. You know, there's a little bit of like self-sacrifice in it that's involved with being a hero. That's just how I see it. But
That's fair
you know,
enough.
I was also a fan of the Boondock Saints and something
And,
like.
and your favorite superhero of all time is Batman, who happens to work outside the law.
I don't know if Batman's a good example because, I mean, he has like files on all the Justice League members and stuff like that and how to take them down. So, if anything, he's one of the people that probably would go for something like this because he understands firsthand how important it is to have safety measures in place when you're dealing with superpowered beings.
In this fictional universe,
With the
you have
Hulk
things like
and
Hulk
Thor
and stuff like that
and-
that
yeah.
can destroy entire cities. I just think it does. If anything,
That's fair enough.
if you know about them, then you can. It's like, to me, it's not just about suppressing. It's also about like helping. Like it's not like the United States wants to know who Spider-Man is so that like his friends and his buddies can like, or his family can get hurt. If like that's a real threat, then maybe they can also like bring support or like help them in other ways or put their family into hiding, give them different
Right.
identities. And this is why I say like in this fictional universe. In the real world, there's also like the whole bureaucracy of it all. Like, okay, I'm Captain America. Here's this bad guy that just like did this thing. I need to go do it. Could you just like fill out like Form B real quick? And how many punches are you gonna throw exactly? And could you document how many kicks and how many times you're gonna hit him with the shield? You know, like,
Right.
and then he's like wasting like 3 hours at like the local office, like filling out paperwork. Like, I get that. Like, when you take that, you put it in the real world. Like, they do need like some leeway, and there could be like some kind of merit system. Like, you know, guys like Captain America, obviously, you can give them a little bit more leeway.
Has the track record.
Yeah, because of track record. Like, maybe that's like the thing. It's kind of like an insurance policy, really.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a good driver,
can see that.
you get a little bit more leeway,
leeway,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. That's just the way I see it. Either way, though, it's going to be an awesome movie.
I'm excited for it. Yeah.
I'm saying that right now. It sounds like the stuff that's coming in is saying that it's good. Mainly because Batman Superman didn't hit it out of the park. I think comic book fans really want this.
Need their
Yeah,
fix.
especially like Marvel fans are like
Yeah.
they just really want to like show DC like how much, and it's like whatever, guys,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's all comic books. Everyone likes both. Come on.
Yeah, just get over it. And I mean, here's the thing. What's the box office like for Batman vs Superman? Like, you guys can hate them all you want. These
It
are like the two
made a-
most
yeah.
iconic superheroes. Pretty awesome news. I heard that Ben Affleck's gonna.
$836.6 million.
Yeah, that's a lot of moolah, guys. People love their Batman vs Superman. Don't hate. I heard that Ben Affleck's gonna be directing a solo Batman film.
Which is going to be awesome.
Should be epic. It's a thing. I don't know if we brought it up earlier, but Ben Affleck killed it.
Oh, he was amazing as Batman. He was
He's a really good
great Batman.
A really good Batman.
Yeah.
And that one warehouse fight scene by Batman
Oh,
is
yeah.
the best Batman fight scene in any movie.
That was yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you take all of the Christopher Nolan ones, that was the best.
Yeah, by far.
a
Hands down.
fluid Batman, a vicious Batman.
Vicious Batman.
It's like this is a guy that like stabs a dude in the leg, then pulls out that knife and then like basically like shoves it through the face of his buddy. Also like a Batman that's
people?
quite okay with it too. Like,
Yeah.
quite nonchalantly uses the Batmobile to launch a car into a dude's face.
Yeah. No qualms about often bad dudes.
Yeah. No qualms about using guns.
No.
I
not at
mean,
all.
like, he had that kryptonite gun he was using on Superman,
Mhm.
and I think he was just using. He
And
picked
it-
up like a normal gun.
Yeah, he picked
during
like
the
an
warehouse.
M16 in the warehouse and,
Yeah, and-
off some dudes.
Yeah, so definitely a Batman that. It should also scare Will Smith's Deadshot a little bit. Your one thing was always you got to use guns,
Now
and Batman
Batman's
did.
got 'em.
Batman's using guns too.
Watch out, boy.
Yeah, you notice that how those are like the bad guys. Suicide Squad. These are
Right.
the bad guys, and yet Will Smith is still Will Smith.
He's still Will
Here,
Smith. Yeah.
It's time to go save the world. No, it's not. You're bad
You're
guys.
bad
in,
guys.
In the comic books, the only reason why you're doing this is because you have like a bomb strapped to your neck. Literally, a bomb strapped to your neck.
Stop being Will Smith.
Stop being Will Smith.
Yeah, actually, all I want from Suicide Squad is for Will to break out with getting jiggy with it or something. Just, you know.
Speaking of Will Smith, since we're talking about all things nerdy, I'm gonna go here because I saw this the other day. It's so psyched for this. Independence Day.
Yes.
Holy crap! Right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, so good. I'd seen, I guess, the teaser trailer. I hadn't seen the new trailer where they kind of talk more about the plot.
Right.
I guess the aliens are coming back.
Spoiler.
We, since Independence Day, we've used the alien technology to do a lot for society. So this is a very high tech. I mean, it's in the future,
Earth, yeah.
but it's a very high tech Earth using alien technology. We have advanced weaponry, all of this stuff. And the thing is, this is an Earth that's prepared. The aliens come back, we can take them this time. Except aliens are even better.
They all spend their time updating their tech.
Yeah, but we still have Jeff Goldblum.
Yes. That's all you need. That's all you need. Dinosaurs, aliens, whatever. All you need is Jeff Goldblum. And apartments.com.
Apartments.com. No Will Smith, though. You think he might make a cameo?
I sure hope so. That'd be awesome. Like if they just hide it until you go see the movie, and all of a sudden, that's Will Smith.
Yeah. At least they didn't have his son play his actual son in the movie.
Yeah.
I was really thinking they were gonna let Michael B. Jordan because he seems to be like
The next Will Smith.
the next Will Smith.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's playing Kobe Bryant in the Kobe Bryant movie.
The old Kobe Bryant.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. David.
Yes.
Man, dude, it's been a while. It's been a while.
This is fun.
You know?
I'm glad I got to do this again.
Come back and you gotta take what is yours. You know.
Yes. My rightful place.
Your rightful place.
On the Iron Throne.
You had your Matt Two Stripe has been
Two stripe.
has been working up on your territory, man. It's good, showing some fight. This guy's Team Cap. I'm Team Iron Man. Tell us what team you guys are on in the comments below. And you know what, guys? This is a broader discussion. It's not just who's your favorite superhero, but like, you know, if you have an opinion on whether or not they should sign a superhero registration act. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Please tell us. If you like this, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe for latest updates on the Bro-est content on the internet. Also, check out our website, broestbros.com. It's the Bro-est site, that is. David, you got anything else for our listeners?
No, I think you covered it all, man.
All right, guys. Until next time, we are
The Bro-est Bros, you knows.